Welcome to another episode of the High Performance Podcast. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm coming down off pre-workout, but I nearly full stacked the preacher curl machine at the gym. So
nice.
My life is progressing. I hammer curled the 20s. It wasn't a clean set of 5. It was a clean set of 3 and then 2 swingers. So it's just zero pump detected. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm anti-pump, because again, I've been talking about on Instagram how I bow at the altar of Jeffrey Verity Schofield when it comes to training arms, and like, look, I haven't heard it explicitly from his mouth, but just the way he trains and the overload techniques and pushing past failure, I assume that he's not against getting a good pump. That's more like a science-based lifting thing. Obviously, there's some overlap between what Jeff's GVS says about growing arms and what the science-based lift is. Like, okay. It wasn't just Jeffrey Verity Schofield, who we should get on the podcast, by the way. I mean, mainly just speaking to myself right now. I'm the one who should reach out to him. But also Declan McMichaels, because especially when he came on the show and he was like, look, like, our view of hypertrophy is not pushing volume. It's just like the right amount of volume and just trying to get stronger. If you want to focus on a muscle group, it's more about how you organize your week of training or how you structure your session. So if you want to emphasize arms, hit them first. But then it was really hard for me to do that on a consistent basis. But then obviously if you just have a dedicated arms day, which GVS is a huge advocate for, that's allowed me to push arms earlier in the day's workout. I mean, because arm day, you just come straight in and you rip into arms. And then like the gains are noticeable, like the intensity that you can bring to your first couple of exercises, like there's just such a significant difference, which it makes me consider, like, I don't know, because obviously there's just a certain amount of body parts and a certain amount of sets that you need to do to like just train everything that needs to be trained. But I guess like the lesson is, it's just like, just be conscious of what you never hit first. And is there any overlap between lagging body parts and exercises or muscle groups that you've never hit first thing when you step into the gym? I think there's really something to be said for that. The other big GVS thing is like, I think in the explicit science-based lifting community, there's been a lot of back and forth on whether there's any merit to overhead tricep work. And GVS is big on it. So I'm just like, you know what? I appeal to his authority. So that's actually rotating back into the GPP team program, because obviously the team program is just however I'm doing my training. Sometimes I'm a week ahead because I like to sort of treat the gym like a sandbox, do a bit of experimentation with my week of training before I then make it part of the team training. So if you're a member of the team GPP team program, which actually by the time this podcast is out, because we release them a week late, all of this stuff will actually be in the program for this week. So on the arms day this week, keep your eyes out for the overhead tricep work. I've actually modified both the tricep movements for that workout. I'm really, really G'd up about it. Got the Pelican push down and then like an overhead variation of that. So that is going to be fucking sweet. What else do I need to talk about? I've got all my podcast topics written down beside me this week, so we're not fully freestyling it. Tell you what, before we get too deep into the show, let's pivot to Jeremy Borzillo's favorite segment, and that is, what the fuck have I been listening to this week? Because your boy's been listening to some new music this week.
Hell yeah. What are we talking?
Fontaines.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a band that people told me to listen to, and I listened to them for about 10 seconds, and I was just like, meh. And then I sort of went back, had another go, because I just noticed, you know what? I noticed a few too many people where I feel like I have overlapping music taste. I was like, these people really like Fontaine, so I'm going to give it another go. And I was pleasantly surprised. So I believe it's...
Can I ask which album you've been doing? Because there is a bit of difference.
Look, I was just about to fucking tell you. It's the new album. So yeah, I read a blurb, and so this is just me just listening to sort of like the Spotify recommended, which is this their second album, or are they more than 2 albums into it?
I thought they'd had 2. I'm just double checking that now.
It feels like 2. Apparently they're more decided on their sound this time, and I'm pretty excited about that, because Bug and Favorite, which I believe have been serviced as singles, that's what I've been smashing.
That would check out. Yeah. So Romance is the new one, right? Or the one you've been doing?
It's got a big like pink heart, or big out of shape pink heart on it.
Yeah, that's Romance. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been ripping it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So basically, I'm going to assume here that they've only had 2 albums, but as I understand it, their first album is way more spoken word. So he doesn't really do a lot of singing on the first album at all. It's kind of like, what do you call it? Kind of like drony, noisy rock with like someone like reading poetry over the top of it. Is how I would describe it. And people love it, and I kind of got why people loved it. It wasn't my thing, but it was nearly my thing, if that makes sense. And then he's gone way more singy, kind of more, I don't know what you call it, more kind of
seems like the public's responding to this second album. It's sort of interesting, yet people talk about sophomore syndrome, yet it does not seem to apply to Fontaines, because when did their most recent album get released?
Last year, I believe.
Okay, so it was last year, but it's already eclipsed all their previous singles. Like Starburster is their most listened to song on Spotify, which is at 102 million plays. So I Love You, which is the biggest single of their previous album, has never hit 100 million plays in its entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And then they've got the next 2 tracks that are their most popular are also from the more recent album, Romance.
I would say that makes a lot of sense. I would say the second album, and in particular the vocal stuff of the second album, is way more kind of commercially viable. Whether that's why they did it or not, I don't know. But it's like, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to listen to it and go, "Oh yeah, this would be way more popular straight away."
We've been whinging about it a little bit, how the music industry is too worried about commercial viability, but I like it when Fontaines try to be more commercially viable, because I think they just write better hooks that way. Actually, have you been listening to anything mad this week? Otherwise, we'll pivot on to the next topic.
Nothing particularly like crazy. I have been listening to a song by a guy called Ryman. I think is how you say it. Ryman.
Ryman in the Hyman.
Sure.
Sorry.
Anyway, he's got a song called Green, which is just a cool little ditty about I don't know, about getting older and about your life changing and that being all right. And yeah, and it's cool. It's kind of chill, makes me feel a little bit melancholy, a little bit sad, but it's a good tune. So yeah, check that out.
Can't handle any of that shit. For anyone who's keeping up to date with my mental health, it's better than it was last week, but more just because I'm just like marinating in the sadness and being like, you know what? This isn't so bad. I can live like this. But that means that the come up is mere days away. This is just
I think you might really like this song then. Give the song a go. It might
link it to me in the WhatsApp. I'll give it a bit of a bump and I'll update everyone if it gets me going. I saw an Instagram video from Adam Mosseri, and this was like, I want to say it was 7 days ago. It's probably 10 days ago now. And because, when did I start to notice this? Sometime over the last year, Instagram story algorithm, it really started punishing creators, anyone with an Instagram account. I identify as a creator. It started punishing people for posting multiple stories a day. Not multiple stories, like you could sort of post like 2 to 3, but anything more than that, you would just notice like a massive drop off in the audience and the reach of your story. There was no real official Instagram response from it, but I even saw other creators. I saw Eugene Teo do this, and I think I saw Alec Blennis do this. Again, 2 other creators who have like really, really solid engaged followings. They're like, hey, like love doing the story Q&A, but it just, because obviously anytime a popular account does a story Q&A, it's usually like 100 or so questions to get back to. They're like, it's just killing my reach. Like even if I get back to 10 of these, if I do the story Q&As, because I know you like them, can you just make an effort to like interact with the story, react to it, love heart the story, just sort of means I'm not getting punished for doing these Q&As for your audience. And then, so about 10 days ago, I noticed Adam Mosseri hop on the gram and do the update. He's like, guys, we heard you guys whinging that, you can't post multiple stories in a day anymore. It throttles your reach. We've fixed it now. You're no longer being punished for posting multiple stories in a day. From that day, story algorithm was going silly. Like, I'm not even talking about posting multiple stories. I'm talking about even just like posting one story. Because, okay, so normally for me, if I'm just like, hey guys, buy my shit. Like, if I don't have anything good to say on the story, I'll be like, well, I should at least do a call to action, because it's just fucking part of the business. You have to do a CTA every day so people buy your stuff. And that if it's not good content, if it's just like hey, like here's what I have for sale, like it's not uncommon for that story to get like it'll probably get over like 10K sort of views. But it's like, you really got to give out some value if you want to push up around like 17, 20,000 plus, get over that, like anywhere, not even, I mean, what's that? Like 40% of my followers seeing that story. I was posting fucking anything on the story, like even just a regular old CTA with nothing interesting or no good value for people just consuming it. And it was getting like reaching like 30,000 people. I was just, oh God, it was a good time to be alive for a little bit. just in regards to the story algorithm, because I was like, man, like just throwing out the free Plio program, which is like an email magnet for me, or just doing a CTA for the GPP team program. I was like, with this level of exposure and saturation, like we're going sizzler. But I was doing everything. I was texting Jamie Smith being like, Jamie, you got to put something on your story. And he was like, mate, I am not feeling it today. I was like, put anything on the story. I'm like, you don't understand. The story algorithm's going crazy. There's money to be made. Post anything. Just tell them you have shit to buy. And then that's all over. I don't know what they did. I haven't posted any like extensive stories where I've actually tried to do the thing that Mosseri said that they fixed. But we're back down to like normal levels of story engagement and viewership. You can't just post anything and get like 60% of your fucking followers to see it. That's silly. It's fucking silly. I was about to fucking incinerate my email marketing account. I don't know. Hey, like, I don't know. I don't know how, like, did they pay people to start watching everyone's story? Or was it the numbers bullshit sometimes? I don't know. It's interesting. It makes you think, what the hell are they doing to that algorithm? But Mosseri, switch it back, please. Please. Oh, so good, man. Why didn't you let us live like that? I knew as soon as my story was something. I hit 32K on a story. Jesus. Maybe even more. And it was just fully like a fucking, hey, join my team program sort of thing. It wasn't anything special, but like nothing was doing less than 25K. It was fucking, oh, like I said, guys, if you didn't post many stories over the last week, you should have been there. Anyway, you can't live your life like that though. You just got to be like, you know what, the algorithm's going to do its thing and I'm just going to be adaptable. Like I said, not that the algorithm's gone to shit or anything like that, but fuck, I was like, man, if we can just get 30K viewers on the story every day, might be in the house of my dreams. Anyway, next topic. It is like, if you're in the content creation game, you should pay attention to what Mosseri is saying, because he puts out like, I don't know, somewhat helpful advice occasionally. Like, he's the man that's large and in charge, so he actually knows what's going on with the algorithm, even to the point where, like, he's making things more official. Like, people felt like hashtags haven't mattered for a while, and Mosseri confirmed that. He was like, hashtags don't mean shit, which I don't know why people still do that. You still see people hashtagging and stuff like that. Next on the agenda, Mike Israetel's PhD getting absolutely shredded by Solomon Nelson. Anyone keeping up with that?
What is that? What happened there?
Solomon Nelson, the guy who's been, he's basically running a YouTube channel for Lyle McDonald just so he can shit on Mike Israetel. He just went through Mike Israetel's PhD with a fine-tooth comb. I'm only like 30 or 40 minutes into the vid. In true Solomon Nelson and Lyle McDonald fashion, it's like a 3.5-hour job. But it's just, I don't know. Like I said, my opinion of Mike Israetel has definitely deteriorated over the last couple of years. I'm not a rabid Mike Israetel hater. See, this is the thing. I think a lot of the rabid Mike Israetel haters were probably people who glazed him a bit too much. And again, like, we notice this pattern in a lot of people. It's sort of like, when people fall head over heels in love, sometimes there's an elastic reaction to that. I experienced that with Jeffrey Wolf. And then I think other people have sort of experienced that, being like, oh my God, Mike Israetel's the truth. And then realizing that he's not 100% perfect with his opinion. Did people actually say that all the time? And then being like, well, Mike Israetel fucking sucks and here's the problem with the industry. It's like, well, Mike Israetel is a very strange man. He's a very smart man. He's put out a lot of really good heuristics and a lot of really solid content on hypertrophy, but there was probably maybe a little bit too much glaze. He's not everything he speaks is gospel. And yeah, his PhD was so it was just trying to notice a pattern or correlation between different physical qualities. I think it was just sort of that. It was like correlations between different physical qualities, but it was sort of just seeing like how athletes' muscle mass and body composition affected the other qualities, or maybe it was how all the qualities sort of relate to each other. But basically, the PhD research project, they were like, right, being really jacked and having good body composition is good for your athletic qualities, and I think like, so that's the whole thing. Like, I think one of Solomon's critiques of Mike Israetel's PhD is like, wow, it's a real like water is wet study. And like, you do need one or two water is wet studies. But he was sort of saying, he's like, we already had the water is wet research here. We didn't need a third study being like, oh, water's like wet. So yeah, I don't know. The rest of it's just like, oh fuck, he used a capital here where he shouldn't have. And I don't know. Like,
really?
I make Instagram content. Like I don't fucking write in academia. So like I'd be getting absolutely carved up. So like,
how many researchers has he posted? Israetel?
Papers? I don't know. Papers. Like I think he's sort of co-author on a bunch of like Schoenfeld studies and things like that. I don't know for sure. Like, I mean, the few papers I'm reading, his name has never really come up. But I would assume that his name is on more papers than just his PhD thesis. I might have a bit of a Google and see what sort of papers he's on. But surely there's some sort of volume paper with his name on it. Maybe not though. But I feel like that's a classic one. It's like, you know, the cohort will be Schoenfeld, James Krieger, Israetel, maybe some of the 3DMJ guys. I could be completely talking out my ass, but I feel like when Lyle was really having a go at Mike Israetel and they're actually sitting opposite each other and having debates about volume or having debates about the way people conducted research, it was sort of always Israetel answering for people like James Krieger and Schoenfeld, and maybe not so much the 3DMJ guys. Maybe they haven't actually overlapped as much as Anyway, it's yeah. How do we feel about a PhD? I mean, like, I feel like Israetel's sort of in the middle. Oh, it's pretty good, but then you see the PhD, and you're like, man, what the fuck was this about? Was this just literally to do a PhD for the fuck of it? Which is still, I think
people, isn't it a lot of the time that people do it just to get their certificate, so they just shit out anything?
I could be viewing this way too cynically, but I feel like there's so many people who are just like, I'm going to get a PhD because then fucking when I'm on Instagram and when I'm on YouTube, like everyone has to respect my opinion. Like,
they can have the acronym word salad in their bio.
Maybe not. Like, I don't think like someone like Jared Powell, shoulder physio, I think he seems like he has like such a curious mind. Oh, I don't know. Israetel seems like a curious bloke as well. I'm just a little bit off him at the moment. So like maybe I need to shut the fuck up as well. And I'll give like an unnecessarily poor opinion of Mike Israetel.
I think what everyone was making fun of him as well, the big thing was when he was on Chris Williamson and then Chris
he was like, what's going on in the stretch? He was like, I don't know.
He goes, well, we don't actually know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, I hate science-based lifting. It's a fucking show, man. Like no matter what corner of it you're sort of pointing out. Anyway, thank God we're more interested in more than just fucking hypertrophy here at the High Performance Podcast. Always fun, just focus on trying to run faster, which the research there can be an absolute shit show as well, or fucking getting fitter, or like fucking what's your VO2 max? It's sports science is shit, but people are trying their best. Actually, I think that's it, right? It's like sports science is a bit shit because it's really hard to do good sports science because you've just faced so many logistics and so many constraints. And then I think it's extra heartbreaking when you're like, were they even trying as hard as possible? Like, were they putting their best foot forward? I think it's the combination of that, just this slow letdown realizing that sports science isn't as rigorous or well-funded or extensive as what you like maybe romanticized it to be before you got so deep in the field. And it's sort of like, seeing behind the curtain a bit too much. But then also sort of coming back to like, well, no, it's just hard to do good science and it takes a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. But then also seeing the effort some of them put in and just being like, shit. But at the same time, like as much as like I'm here to criticize sports science, like I don't want to go back to full bro science where it's like, well, fuck, all right, well this guy's really quick, so let's see what he says about running faster. Because again, like the old appeal to authority, it's the biggest logical fallacy there is, or is it? Do we rank logical fallacies? What the hell's going on?
I guess that's a side of it as well, and like obviously I don't really know much about Mike Israetel, or sorry, I don't know much about like what he's saying on like a kind of daily basis, but like I guess it would be kind of interesting to like kind of get an honest opinion from him and be like, what do you make of your PhD? Or like if you were going to redo it, or if you were going to do one now, what would you do? Because like apart from anything else, I often think about this, like when you think about the people or the bits of research or the bits of whatever that like things are built on now and that we know to be right, it's like they've only kind of come because there's been so many wrong ones. And wrong is like obviously a bit fucking black or white, but there's been so many in getting to that stage, even just making people have the idea of being like, well, what about this thing instead? That like maybe he's sitting there going like, yeah, nah, that I'd do it completely differently, or yeah, that wasn't as relevant as I thought it was, or I had a hypothesis, I did whatever, and I found out it was wrong. Like that's still, it doesn't, just because your thing wasn't bang on doesn't mean it's not relevant. It's like that's how we progress. We find out some things are wrong, some things are right, and we take it from there.
I think the big thing for me is as well, like since I've been on this whole like your worldview underpins everything, like your view of the world underpins how you then filter every other piece of information or every other data set, like what sort of takeaways you take away from that. And then just seeing Mike Israetel, because he's got, like any of us, when we start to get a bit of traction, you're like, oh yeah, you like my opinions on training? How about I give you my opinions about society, politics, the world, fucking what's the relevance of race to intelligence? Like, he's
Big
sort
time.
of, he's gone down that pathway. And then it's seeing more of that and being like, I don't see the world the way he does. And then questioning the things that he says and questioning his interpretations of hypertrophy research even more just because of that. But even that, like, I don't know if that's the right way to go. Like, I'm interested in the opinions of people who don't completely share my worldview, but then I prefer it when they do. No,
for sure. But even just like, I don't know, like,
yeah, so he's gone into some off the wall topics on his fucking
big time. But like,
on his politics and philosophy channel. Like he wants his arms chopped off and be full robot man. Like put the chip in my brain. Like fucking
hell yeah.
But yeah, no, good on it.
Well, like serious cries with AI and ChatGPT.
Yeah. Well, going off that,
that was a big one. The one where he was just like, "Fucking ChatGPT is so nice to me, it made me cry." I'm like, oh.
That hurts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. This question might be completely useless and irrelevant, and maybe we'll cut it out. But like, I guess it's kind of twofold, right? Because first of all, do you think if you did a PhD, say 5 years ago, say Angus from 5 years ago did a PhD, or maybe 10 years ago even, do you think Angus now would be like a bit like, oh my God, why did I even fucking do that? Like, do you think you've changed, or like even like what you're interested in, or how you see things has changed enough that it would be, do you know what I mean? Like it would be like a different person basically.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that even as I said that, but then I don't know how old Mike Israetel is.
Sure.
That's putting me as a 23-year-old where my brain wasn't fully developed. And I would like to think, like I buy into the idea of lifetime learning and we benefit from like
41.
More information sort of coming up. I would like to think that I won't cringe as hard as things that I sort of say, let's say from the age of like 30 onwards.
Sure thing. But surely there's a lot of people doing PhDs like 23, 24, right?
Oh, that's what I was sort of thinking about. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like very common for people to sort of take a break after their masters and then sort of come back for the PhD. I mean,
Right.
is that the average? I don't know. The average is probably just like ripping straight through it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the second part to the question I was going to ask you was, if you were going to do a PhD now, what would you do it on?
I was about to make a silly joke, but we were just giving you more editing. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. But like, so there's nothing that you, when you look at people discussing things, or there's no like glaring gap in the evidence base. You're like, why is there not more research on this, or why is there not more studies on this thing?
I feel like as soon as we end this recording, I'm going to think of like a really good answer.
Oh no, fucking doubt it. Squat versus hip thrust. No kidding.
No, I wouldn't mind seeing RDL versus hip thrust. Oh, I'm not hanging my hat on that though. I'm not because again, like I think that's an interesting one. It's like, right, no, fuck that off. Actually, I don't give a fuck about that.
Minimum effective dose of every quality.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more data on that. We've got some decent data. Shout out to Dr. Pack. Was Milo Wolf involved in those studies? I don't know, but Dr. Pack was. And I think that's really, really pragmatic and useful research. And I would like to see more research, even if it was just to sort of double down and strengthen the evidence that a lot of people can make great gains on like 1 to 2 sets a week, especially from a strength perspective. Was that a strength or hypertrophy study? I think most of it was sort of do with strength. Maybe I would like to see some MAD studies on more intermediate trained people, because again, I believe a lot of the minimum effective dose studies were sort of looking at less trained people. So that could be kind of interesting. I would like to see more research on the correlation between like max velocity being a predictor of 100 meter times. I would like to see sort of if there's any relationship between your first 20 meters and that, but then there's too much variation in like how people decelerate and where they peak. Yeah, I'm going to end up rambling too much, but maybe some of those rambles like give people insights into where I'm curious to sort of flesh out a body of evidence. But
100%.
I mean, so much of like where I'm at and what I'm doing day to day is like, how do I help this cunt in front of me? Not how do I fucking
100%,
improve the body of literature for people. Yeah.
And even that, like I'd imagine a huge chunk of a PhD is like what you think you're going to do initially, like roughly, and then you'd even have a fairly specific idea in your mind. And I'm sure after like starting to do it a bit or doing research on what's already been done and everything else, I'm sure that everyone's PhD probably ends up being a bit different and a bit more specific to what the initial idea was, you know? So like, I wouldn't expect you just now to be like, my PhD would be on exactly this. But yeah, no, it's interesting to think about and be like, not only what do you want, but what do you think?
What does society need?
You know? Yeah.
The next topic is making long form content when you have head noise. I was meant to do a YouTube video today and I was just like, nah, too much fucking head noise. What am I doing about that? Because I do want to stay relatively on track with my YouTube schedule, which has been going well. I am just going to force myself to do it tomorrow. So it might just mean that I have to film for a little bit longer and there's a little bit more editing. But like, fuck today, I just couldn't fucking do it. It's like any of you who actually get into long form content creation, you will understand this. Just the importance of mental health. Like when my mental health is in the gutter, it's so much easier to keep up the short form content. I mean, because you could it's so much more like just production and like just tapping away on your phone sort of thing. Whereas just staring down the barrel or like speaking into the mic for like 30 minutes or longer and trying to put together coherent thoughts. It's like when you're fucking distracted, it's like good fucking luck with that.
I guess the viewer sees more of you and more of what's probably going on, more likely to see what's going on with your life in the reflection of your content. So
it really is that. But that's also why it's so fucking good for creating customers versus any other form of content creation. Like, if someone's a fucking psycho, you have a much higher likelihood of seeing that come through in their long form content, things like that. Or if people are pretending in any regard, it's like, it's just going to be a little bit easier. Same as when that Yo Talks guy, you clearly see him like reading off a screen the whole time. He was chatting with Kassem in that longer interview they did. You're like, I don't know about this guy.
Where is that? I want to watch that. Is that on Kassem's?
It's on Kassem's channel. It's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest.
Jeez.
I mean, it probably
Doesn't your talks just interpret Chris Beardsley studies nonstop and that's it?
I mean, basically, Chris Beardsley, what the fuck did he say about sprint times or something?
He talks about sprinting.
Yeah, he'll talk about fucking anything. And is that the lesson we're learning here? It's like people get G'd up about your opinions on one thing. Stick to that. You don't need to go off script and try to tell us fucking your opinion on everything. It's probably something I need to listen to a little bit more.
I was going to say, I feel like this podcast itself.
No, this is for the people who are just like, hey, Angus, tell me your opinion on fucking everything. I'd like to think that I get judged accordingly for my takes on things.
But what were you just saying about, you're really high on this whole, like, your worldview underpins everything thing?
No, well, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't know about that. What else did I have to say about long form content? I mean, I'm kind of just going to repeat myself at this point. If you're not doing it, well, if you got some momentum with building an audience from short form content and you're interested in, you have a bit more capacity to keep making content and you want to increase your conversion rate, definitely get into long form content. Because it's just like, I don't know, the more and more I mess around with it, I used to think that it was like a certain amount of time for people to become customers. Sort of felt like anywhere between 6 to 12 months to convert people from like just being aware that you exist and then to turning them into a customer. But I think I heard James Smith throw out this figure. He was like, it's more like 3 hours of content consumption. And that made a lot of sense to me because, again, I've seen people be consistent with content. Or like they'll have a bit of their page blow up a little bit from a couple of posts, but then their frequency is just like 2 posts a week. And they're like, why don't I get customers? And you're like, man, like, again, going back to that thing of people don't post because they're like, don't want to fucking annoy people. And like, people are thinking about me. People are not thinking about you. Like, unless your post is directly in front of them, no one's thinking about you. And as soon as they scroll away from your post, they have stopped thinking about you and they are thinking about something else, whatever that piece of content is in front of them. Even if they don't like it, they're assessing. They're like, do I like this piece of content? Am I going to stop scrolling or am I just going to keep scrolling? And meanwhile, people are just like, oh, I don't know, fuck, 3 posts a week might be fucking annoying people. That's like literally 3 minutes a week. Someone is considering, they're not even considering, do I want to become a customer of this cunt? They're like, what do I fucking think about this piece of content that the person has made? Whereas, yeah, you got to net that 5 to 7 minutes a week if you're only doing short form. 5 to 7 posts. It's like I said, it's only 5 to 7 minutes a week, maybe less. It's got like 60 seconds. Stop and scroll for 60 seconds. You're enjoying that post. You're like, this is good. I agree with this. Or like, this person's really pissed me off. Like, I reckon even 30 seconds is like, hold on. Let me do a quick Instagram scroll. Let me see how long I enjoy a post for. Doing it live on the show, live doom scroll. All right, I'm just going to fucking scroll. I can go top of the algorithm. All right, top of the algorithm. Anna Wish, 5 ring mistakes. Oh, yeah. All right, this is a reel. So like the time I consume it will be fixed. All right, this post isn't for me. How long was that? And I like Anna as a person, but that was a post on that just wasn't relevant to me. Was that 20 seconds? That I spent consuming that?
I don't know if it was. Debatably 20. Debatably.
You reckon if anything less?
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, I felt like that was like a lifetime looking at that post. Really goes to show you time is a social construct. Anyway, hopefully that illustrates the point for everyone here. Like, again, Anna put out a really great post. Again, not the most relevant post to me because I don't do that much shit on the rings and I'm not really focusing on that right now. But like, yeah, 20 seconds spent consuming that. Yeah. She posts every single day. That's like what? Like 2 minutes of me consuming her content. And again, Anna's someone who gets a lot of customers online, has a really great following, puts out a lot of solid content. Friend of the show, should check out her episode if you haven't already listened to that.
Hell yeah, it was a great episode. Fucking great.
It was a great episode. We'll have to do it again. We'll have to do another run of guests soon. But yeah, just something for people to bear in mind. You're fighting for people's attention so fucking much. 5 posts a week, it's still really not that much exposure. Oh, final topic for the week. I'm writing a new ebook.
Sweet.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm just doing a standalone GPP program, a 3-day, a 4-day, a 5-day. Gonna have a running cardio plug-in, plus a bit of info on the overall training philosophy and stuff like that. It's just like I love the GPP training team, and that's always going to be my baby, and obviously that's always going to be like the train along with me. But it just started to keep me up at night. The idea of people being like, well, because as it stands right now, the GPP team training option, it's a 4-day split, but then there's with an optional 5th arms and core day. But even that 4-day split, I mean, you can absolutely get it done in 4 days, but on both the pull days, there's some acceleration and some sprinting work in there. And regardless of whether it's a lot of work or whether it's not that much work, I think it's a moderate amount of work. There are people who want to train more than that. There are people who want to train less than that. And as much as the program's flexible and who have helped people push, some people who are on the training team are just training 3 days a week, getting great results, and we help them adjust the program accordingly. But I just wanted to have something for people where it's just like, okay, no, if you want to do a 3-day a week GPP program, here's exactly how I do it. If you want a 4-day, here's exactly how I do it. If you want a 5-day, here's our template for that. Also, here's just like enough discussion about each physical quality and our general program philosophy that people can just do a bit of a write your own GPP program sort of resource. So I thought that would be useful. Just expand the offering slightly. I also know that just some people, there's a lot of like fatigue around the idea of subscription services. So just saying where people be like, hey, give me that. I don't want to pay for another subscription thing. I want to just own this little booklet on, a 3, 4, 5-day GPP split. Then as well, like, if I wanted to write my own, just giving people insights into that. Obviously, like really, if you want to write your own GPP programs, GPP level 1 is what I'd recommend. But again, there's some people that just don't want to sit through a course or whatever. They're not interested in GPP level 1. So I think that'll be a decent addition to the offering.
What's the duration of the split?
I think it'll be like 12 weekers because I was sort of thinking about that a little bit. Sort of looking at like the average amount of time people spend on the GPP training team, or just sort of thinking about like how long on average, just reflecting on clients, does it take me to get someone into pretty decent shape or get a decent result with them? And honestly, like it is sort of 3 months, especially when you're not just like, if you're absolutely hammering one physical quality, I mean, hell, when someone changes coaches and like hires a good coach, you can get fucking great results in like 6 to 8 weeks. Or sorry, it depends what state someone's in, what their current level is at, what their condition is. But yeah, whereas when you were trying to bring up multiple qualities simultaneously, the transformations that you can get in 6 to 8 weeks are not going to be as distinct. But I was like, 3 months of work, you can definitely like make some really good strides in multiple physical qualities in that period of time. Definitely.
Sounds good. Are you going to so the minimum will be 3 times a week?
Minimum will be 3 times a week because I was like, fucking, mate, if you want a 2-day GPP split, it's like full body machines and just rip 15 minutes of pliers and you warm up for both of those, honestly. Hey, also like, if you can only train 2 days a week, it's like, what are you doing online looking for training resources? Just like fucking, how hard is it to figure out? Just you struggling to fit everything in there, if anything. Well, you're not going to fit everything in. I had a trainer a couple of months back, reach out for one-to-one coach, and they're like, I can only fucking train 2 days a week a lot of the time. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing, cunt? Like, you're like 20 clients and you work in a gym. What the fuck do you mean you can only train 2 days a week? Couldn't fucking believe it. Sorry, unnecessary rant there.
Probably a CEO could train more.
What was that?
A CEO could probably train more than 2, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I know some busy fucking cunts who train 4 days a week.
My clients, they're like 80 to 90 hours
4 days a week. Give me 3 days a week. The difference between 2 and 3 sessions is a lot, in my opinion. It's like 2 sessions, like, what the fuck are we doing? 3 sessions, I'm like, man, we're absolutely crushing this. Mate, am I being too pedantic about this? I have got decent results with people who've like never lifted before on 2 days a week. I'm trying to think of like how far I've taken someone training 2 days a week. Not that far, if I'm honest. Now that I sort of play out the thought experiment in my head, I'm like, if you were consistent with 2 days a week, kind of want to do it.
But you can't miss a day. That's the only thing.
No.
Like you cannot fucking miss.
What stage are we at? What stage are we at? We're at the beginner stage. Like that's why I mean, like going back to that, be like, never touch the gym. 1 day a week. What are we doing? Yeah, you're really
1 day a week.
One day
RP
a week,
10.
supervised training.
RP 10 everything.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and based on like the research on minimum effective dose,
It'll be a long
it
session
can be
too.
done. What do you reckon though? Quick SBD session with smack some accessories 1 day a week. I want to see, okay, that going back to me PhD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get a couple of cohorts, get fucking half of them doing 1 day a week and get the other half of them doing 2 days a week. Sign me up for that. No, let's simplify it as well. We're not going GPP. We're just going to go strength and hypertrophy measurements. I mean, honestly, I was about to say just go strength measurements because they're a bit clearer to measure, but now that's sort of say it out loud. I don't know if it is that clear. But yeah, measuring just strength and hypertrophy outcomes. Good MED study. 1 day a week and 2 days a week. And like absolutely smacking them. But like a realistic smacking, like a 60-minute smacking. Or, sorry, maybe we've got to go 45 minutes. Because like, what do you really? You've really just got 1 full hour a week. Anyone who's that busy, surely it's like, oh no, I guess we can squeeze in 45 minutes. I think that'd be interesting. I reckon, and then again, like in a study, they're only going to do it for fucking 8 to 12 weeks max. But like, I would love to see just like a 6 month sort of study into it. But maybe initially we need a little sexy 12-week pilot.
That's a good idea. I'd like to see that. You'd obviously have to control for intensity as well. Like, are they all hitting crazy intensities or?
We kidnap their families and say, yeah,
Okay.
like we'll kill a family member if you don't hit RPE 10 or 0 RIR on these sets. So it's like
we have a live stream recording of their family.
Gonna need a lot of resources. Yeah, we do the full like we law-abiding citizen their families. Stick them in the coffins underground. You've just got the camera pointing at them, and it's just like if you can't reach lockout on this leg extension, they're going. It's too heavy.
Sounds like a Mr. Beast episode.
I remember thinking Law Abiding Citizen was the maddest fucking movie when it came out. Don't know if I could rewatch it though. Been a while since I really vibed with a movie. Actually, no, that's a fucking lie. Fucking June 2, fucking cranked my hog to that movie. It was amazing.
I watched The Matrix again too. That was a good one.
Fire. That was amazing. My girlfriend before my previous girlfriend had never watched The Matrix. God, that was a treat just to be like, fucking watch this cunt. Like this is gonna blow you. Actually, sorry, she hadn't seen The Matrix or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how well The Matrix has aged, given how special effecty it seemed.
No, the bullet time aged like ass. I will say that because do you remember at the time they're like, oh my god, the fucking slow motion bullet time, like this is the future of special effects. I thought that was really shit. Everything else sort of holds up though visually.
Yeah, I just mean when you think about the huge amount of like fight scenes there are, where there's like all those dudes running in at like nailing that, like that should have aged dreadfully. But like I think it's actually just obviously really well choreographed, like martial arts scenes. You know, like fucking super well done.
It's pretty good. Fucking my mate Burns, he made a really good point about the degradation or deterioration of like action scenes in not just action movies, but any sort of scene where there's like fast-paced action. It used to be a lot clearer what was happening on camera. And again, you notice it in movies like The Matrix, like they're focused, I mean, sorry, it's still focused on the subject, but it's like zoomed out enough where you can see what's going on. Whereas now a lot of action scenes, the way that they're filmed, it's more like their purpose is just to like purely disorient you, so you can't actually see what's going on in the fight. And then you're just like, all right, fight's over, and the bad guys are dead.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to pay
I didn't know that.
Since
Like
you
you're in there
mentioned
too
that,
with them.
sort of been pissing me off. I mean, is this just Burns' thing being like, no one uses good chords anymore? Action scenes, you can't tell what's going on anymore. But
I think this was the conversation we had. Yeah.
Was it?
At that.
Did we watch a movie together?
No, it was at the burger place where we had beers in that truck outside, and we're sitting outside.
Oh, Principal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely that, because it's ringing bells. Yeah.
Got to get back there.
Talking about movies and shit.
Definitely one of my favorite burgers in town. But no, I really reckon he was right with that stuff. I really liked the it seemed cringe, but kind of in a satisfying way. Just that initial martial arts scene as real Crouching Tiger, Hidden Peacock. His initial fight with Morpheus, just as he's learning the ropes in the little dojo thing. Like that was fucking mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then fucking Matrix Resurrections, then they went fucking work, eh?
Yeah, but
it wasn't as good. It was too much love. Need more focus on killing. Like I did not like Matrix Resurrection. Was like maybe if we loved each other harder, that would fuck the machines over. It's like no violence, shooting out the sun. This is the biggest thing I will never forgive about Matrix Resurrections is no one was asking for the sequel. I mean, I don't know if anyone was asking for the prequel. Gus was asking for the prequel because before Matrix 1, there's so much hectic shit that happens. And then we're just kind of there. We're like, oh, a lot sort of happened. Here we are in the future. Humans live underground. Show me the Judgment Day part where the machines just fly off the handle like, no, we don't like you guys anymore. We're going to kill humans and use them for a food and energy source. That wasn't it. Again, because the whole thing that supposedly happens is the machines go bad and start trying to take over the show. And then humans shoot out the sun because I think all the machines initially were solar powered. And then once humans shoot out the sun, which is the machine's fuel source. Also, if you know anything about humans, also the human's fuel source. Then the robots just started harvesting humans for their energy supply and their all that sort of shit, which is hectic. That's fucking gnarly. Like what an amazing 2 to 3 hour movie you've got there. Anyway, if there's any fucking film studios listening, think about it.
That would be a way bigger money grab than a sequel for sure.
Oh, dude. Well, to be fair, you could have fucking done anything for a fourth Matrix, and it's probably going to go. Like, people are going to go see it. Whether they like it is a whole nother thing. I mean, people were always going to have
3, yeah.
3 in the initial trilogy, and then a 4th one recently. Like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Was that even more terrible? Does it just get worse and worse and worse?
Look, The Matrix holds up as a trilogy, and I've been pretty apologetic about episode 2 and episode 3, The Matrix, but I maintain that it's about as good as a trilogy gets. The ultimate trilogy is Lord of the Rings. But then again, like, it was supported by books. I don't know. I'm not saying that doesn't count, but it's kind of like, well, the whole thing's just been laid out for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, it still counts. As far as trilogies go, Lord of the Rings is the king of the trilogies. Every other trilogy compared to it kind of falls off after the first one. But then again, like, okay, so the original Star Wars trilogy, I'm just not much of a Star Wars guy. So I'm not going to sit here and bat for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's hard to argue with The Matrix in terms of like.
What's your favorite Lord of the Rings spot?
I'm not gonna lie, I actually haven't really done Lord of the Rings in a long fucking time.
I mean, you remember what happens, right? Or not really?
That's kind of what I mean. I don't want to be the dude that doesn't come on here and is like, I don't really get the Lord of the Rings thing, but like, is it not just a lot of slashing people for like fucking 3 hours?
Which one?
Well, like the first one, is that not just a bit like...
The first one's a lot of walking around, and then the next two are a lot of cutting people up and stuff.
That's what I mean.
It's cute shit in between.
I just don't know if I have 3 hours of people slashing up goblins at me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
nah, they spread that out. But so the interesting thing about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think why it's absolute tip of the spear when it comes to trilogies, it's the Return of the King, which is the third installment, which is the highest rated on all like the Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb websites. Whereas like there's no other trilogy where that's the case. So it's the only one where just collectively people are like, yes, more. Oh, that was amazing. More. Oh, that was even better. More. And it's just like delivered on that every time. Whereas even a trilogy where like maybe for argument's sake, like, because for me personally, if someone's like, do you want to watch Matrix or do you want to watch Lord of the Rings trilogy? I'm like, oh, fucking yeah. It's like two different kinds of dessert. Like you can't really go wrong there. But I just think the fact that people are so there for the second and third Lord of the Rings, whereas like second and third Matrix compared to the first one, dog shit. But it's like, I shouldn't say dog, like relatively speaking, like the drop off between Matrix 1 to 2 to 3. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. One thing I will say, so the first Matrix, so much world building. And then in the second one, the start of it's kind of good because I'm like, we're here now. We can get to business. Mm-hmm. It's just the business that they got down to.
It's straight into the action.
Meh. Yeah.
I just think trilogies are very hard to get right just because it's set yourself up from failure to begin with. Because trying to make good content 3 times in a row where the first one will always be the best is so... It's like... No, I have 2 more in the back of my head that I didn't decide to put in the first one. So it's like, how do people have that many good ideas? If you get what I mean. Or am I talking shit?
I think expectations ultimately the killer of the subjective experience. I think that's the thing as well. Like first one, there's just like less expectation, so you have more of an opportunity to impress. Whereas like again, any hyped up sequel, it's gonna be because that was a good initial one. So people just going in just be like, oh my god, what the hell are they gonna do next? And it's just so hard to take you to that same point where you went in being like, all right, I'm just here to watch any old fucking movie, and you're like, holy shit. It'd be kind of good.
I almost think the exact same thing with like Australia's Got Talent or like The Voice or some shit like that, where obviously you have to blow
the she's the OG American Idol, right? I mean, it speaks for itself. Guy Sebastian, the original Australian Idol. It didn't get better.
Yeah, like you have to blow your socks off in the first one to get yourself through the door. And then like you have to get better and better.
I just will never get over the tweet from Guy Sebastian in November, where he's like, in Wuhan, China, ate some crazy shit today that you'll hear about later.
What? Is that real?
Do you not know about that? Yeah, no. It's real. That's the best thing. Like, it seems like it's fully like a completely doctored, photoshopped tweet. It was November 2019. Guy Sebastian took a trip to Wuhan, was eaten at the wet markets. Are you looking it up, Harvey?
Hey everyone, it's Harvey from the High Performance Podcast here. For those of you who don't know, I take care of all of the editing, guest booking, organising, run sheet making, uploading, and just about any other back-end stuff that you can think of for the show. If you have a podcast project that you think I might be able to help you with, or even if you'd just like to chat about an idea, please get in touch via my Instagram handle, which can be found in the show notes. Drop me a DM and we can talk more there. Cheers.
No, I wasn't looking up, but I can do.
Yeah, quickly look it up to make sure I'm not talking shit.
No, I've seen the thing. It's real. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It's crazy.
Guy Sebastian started COVID. Sorry, I shouldn't have said the C word.
No, it's all good. Everyone's obsessed with Tylenol now.
Maybe there was more to it, but I swear there's a picture of him like eating something hectic as well, whereas this is just...
it's just him clearly at a wet market and he's been like, we ate some crazy shit, but I'm sure you'll hear about it later. And it's like...
You need that bomb. Into that.
Oh, it's an Instagram post. It's still up.
Let's see this. I'll try screen share it.
Loved hanging out today in Wuhan, China. Ate some seriously interesting things. More to come about that. And met some beautiful people. China is stunning in so many ways. Yeah, you fucking ate that bat.
Patient 0, someone said 2 days ago. Someone commented 2 days ago, patient 0.
I'm surprised it didn't blow up like way harder than that. It's real just fucking moments in time. Anyway, it looks like he's still touring the country, so good for him.
Like all these little Australian artists that were winners, fuck, where did they go? Like Timmatic and what's other guys?
Nah, Timmatic was an Australian Idol. He was fucking X Factor bullshit.
Oh.
I saw Timmatic at one of those Point Piper New Year's parties, just absolutely blitzed. I mean, whatever. Sorry, I was absolutely blitzed as well. Speaking of getting blitzed, I'm going to a festival in February. I'm going to it's about to call it fucking Landslide. What the fuck's it called? Laneway. I'm going to Laneway Festival. Come on, Harvey. There's three festivals left in Australia. I think Fontaine's might be playing. But yeah, Sam was just like, do you want to get 2 tickets? And I was like, yeah, let's get 2 tickets. So
you know they played Years and Elves this year, right?
Yeah, great. No, yeah, I feel like they've been around. Yeah, maybe they're not playing Laneway then.
They might be. I know that Geese Band are playing it, right? They're huge just now.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's gone mental for them.
Gus, would you ever do a BTV?
I did Beyond the Valley. I did Beyond the Valley back in the day.
Are you doing Beyond the Valley this year?
No, I'm playing Lost Paradise this year.
Oh, Lost Paradise.
I saw Chance the Rapper at Beyond the Valley back in the day, and Zoo, is that how you say it? ZHU? Yeah, saw both of them amongst a bunch of other people at Beyond the Valley, and it was fucking fantastic. An amazing time. Zoo is off the fucking rails.
I saw Zoo at the Opera House, and it was for Vivid. It was a little bit like, but then again, it's like all seated in the Opera House. Like you can get down.
You want to dance. You want to fucking dance for Zoo.
All right, I got to go fucking write this GPP 3, 4, 5 day program, and I also have to fucking knock out a YouTube video. So might fucking leave the waffle there for today, but I hope you enjoyed that. Check out GPP Level 1 if you want to get sick results with your clients, get them bigger, stronger, faster, do it for longer. If you want to train how I train, check out the team training. You can get a free week of training. All the links to that are down below. And if you really want to support the show, share it in your story because that fucking helps.